Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Stine and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as always, we cannot talk yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea. And today this tea is a classic, a black tea with a flavor of orange. So it's just a pretty standard flavored orange tea. No fancy things about it. It's just nice and I guess a bit comfy. Because weather here lately has been dull. It's been cold, it's been raining, it's really wet here. The rivers are on the edges of bursting, at least within their normal perimeters. It's not like they're flooding over as I've seen before, but for the time of the year, the water is really high. Europe has been wet, especially Germany and the rivers coming here to the Netherlands, and it's been raining here. It's cold. It's like autumn. Like I'm kind of ready for some better weather, for some more sun. 70 plus degrees Fahrenheit, so that would be like 20-ish or so degrees, maybe even a bit more. That would be really nice. So far right now it's more like 15 to 16, 17 degrees, which is like in the start 60s maybe. Don't kill me, I'm not super good in calculations into Fahrenheit, but regardless, a bit warmer would be nice, a bit sun would be nice, definitely. And of course it doesn't help either that I've been hung up on work, which basically haven't given me the time to get out and get more fresh air. But in reality, maybe that's good when it's been this sucky weather. But even here indoors, I'm almost feeling that I'm freezing. Like, you know, normally this time of the year, I definitely don't sit with 10,000 of coats and jackets and so on. I would definitely not. I'm having 2 layers on. Like, this is how cold it feels to me. Anyhow, let's get into some yarns, because that's why we're here in the end. Can't be a yarn talk without really yarns. Since last time, I managed to not do an awful lot on my cardigan. I managed to weave in the end. And no, I added 1 extra row. That's how I was. I added 1 more row because I wanted to add 1 more row of shells. So I ended up with 4 rows of shells, and then I weaved in the end because that fit with the size and length for a good arm length. So that's where we are at basically. Pretty happy with this outcome. I can remove my orange guiding line, and then I have to start on the other side, on the other arm. And there is quite some rows. This is all my notes for how many gaps there is and how many rows. And I have quite some work to do. I really do have a bit of work to do here to make another arm or another sleeve. The good thing is, once I've started, it should be reasonably fast. Well, reasonably fast. It's still gonna take time. But I don't need to try it on every so often. So once I get going, I can really get going. So that is hopefully gonna be really nice. And then once I have that arm done, we are gonna have a little fashion show. And you guys can tell me if we should add some more length to it or not on the front panels. I might also wait a bit and then wear it a bit to see if I feel it's missing it. And if I do, we will need to order more yarns. And why is that? Is because the yarns that I am using for this cardigan is the Drops Baby Merino, which is this absolutely gorgeous yarn. And it's so wonderful, 100% baby merino, superwash baby merino, super soft. It's not scratchy. For any wool I've ever felt, this is the least scratchy so far. It's so nice and soft. It's a colorway 22, which is like this sort of baby gray, light gray. They are 50 gram skeins, so 1.75 ounces to 175 meters, so that's 191 yards. I think I've said 170 some of the other days, so actually they're a little bit longer. the thinnest yarn group that they have at Drops, and they just work up nicely. And I can easily see these also working up some really nice scarves. I only have this ball left, plus this ball that's open. And I hope here is enough to actually finish my arm. I do have, except for this, the two very, very tiny leftover balls, which are definitely not even close to this. That's maybe even just a quarter of this at best. So that is what I have for making the second sleeve, and then I have no yarn left. So if I do want to add extra panels on front, we need to go yarn shopping. But hey, an excuse for yarn shopping is nice, isn't it? So yeah, overall, I think it's been working up really, really nicely. That would be the end and the sleeve. I'm sorry for not taking it on today. That would have to be another day. We have to add the sleeve here, and we have a sleeve here, basically. So that is what we need to get added, and that is the project. And with a bit of luck, I have more time this weekend, because last weekend was busy sorting stuff, busy in many aspects, and also, of course, I did spend some time celebrating my partner's birthday. Was a nice day. We had a good day, that took away from my crocheting. And this week, like Monday and Tuesday, I had so much work. I was like so worn out that I crocheted just a minimum afterwards. But let's continue with the other things that I have been either working on or have started working on. So the Oasis Cardigan I started last summer. I don't remember the exact dates, but it's pretty close to a year when I'm done with the sleeve. So it's been ongoing for a while, and a part of this is I do remember there was a period I put it away for maybe like 2 or 3 months, and I did that intentionally because I was not, I wouldn't say I wasn't feeling it, but I had some troubles with the pattern, and I decided to kind of put it away temporary. And at the same time, I was also very busy preparing for a Christmas scarf that I had promised to make myself, because I needed it for an event in December, plus 2 Christmas presents that also took a bit longer to make. And therefore it's maybe not too bad that I had put that a little bit on the back hold back then. But yeah, around New Year's, I started, it sounds all so long, and when realizing how far I could get, then it feels like it could be so much better. But it's okay. Around New Year's, I started on the Fleur Mosiac blanket, and the Fleur Mosiac blanket is this absolutely gorgeous design by Anke Wintermans. Anke Wintermans is a Dutch designer of Mosiac patterns. She has a whole Ravelry store where you can find lots of intricate Mosiac pattern designs. And this is my first of hers, and I'm using the Stylecraft DK Special DK yarns, which is a premium acrylic DK yarn. So it's 3-weight yarn, 100 grams to almost 300 meters of yarn, 295 meters, which is like 360 some yards. Here, it's gorgeous, 330 some yards, by the way. It's quite gorgeous. The front side looks like this, and this would be the back side, and here you can see the overlay concept. You can also see, of course, here where I drag the lines, the thread, because I keep the thread attached as I work around, and I just work one round, one color, one round, next color, and it's getting overlaid. So by that I mean you can see that here where the white is in front of this row is because it's overlaying the previous row, and here, so these are double crochets, but when they're not overlaying like here, they're just single crochets, and it's just a fairly simple concept actually. I do enjoy how this is working out. I am at row 30, yes, row 30 out of 129. So we still have quite some distance to go. Not going to be done this year unless something crazy happens. I hope to maybe have a row or two more done for next week. But right now I actually decided that my cardigan has to take a little bit more priority for when I have my table crochet time. Because exactly with this Mosiac blanket, I have the same as I do have with the cardigan. It's a project that is more, or it's easier to work on when you're at the table because it's so big. Especially for the cardigan, because I decided to crochet the arms on instead of sewing them on afterwards. I really like the fact that it's seamless like this, so it's worth the extra hassle. In the case of the Mosiac pattern, it's to ensure that my yarn doesn't tangle while working, I guess. Yeah, and that's just making it easier doing it at a table. But the cardigan I really want to have done now, so that might take a bit preference unless I really get in the mode for Mosiac. The blanket will have my table crochet time this coming week. Using a 4mm crochet hook with the Mosiac blanket. For the cardigan, it's a 3.5mm crochet hook. Quite interesting how they're all a little bit different and yet so much the same. I do use the same type of crochet hook for them all. It's my soft grips, Clover soft grip hooks. I do believe soft touch. Yeah, which are really, really absolutely awesome to work with. Clover soft touch. Those are the hooks that I've been working with these projects, ranging from 3.25 to 4.5. And funnily enough, I've managed right now to have 5 projects with 5 different hook sizes, so I don't need to grab around. I do have extra hooks, and for sometimes I also use the other hooks. It kind of, again, depends on the work I'm doing and how and what. The next project I started, and I started that based on a poll I had on the community tab here on Facebook, is my Firefly sweater. For the Firefly sweater, I double strand the yarn. I used my 4.5mm crochet hook. It's made in the soft sensation yarn from Lamy Yarns. Lamy Yarns is a Dutch yarn brand. These would be labels. And they are 25 gram skeins, which is just like 0.9, a bit less than 0.9, 0.85 ounces maybe, 0.875 to be more exact. To 200 meters of yarn, so that's 220-ish yards. 76% acrylic, 24% polyester, hand wash, and can be dry cleaned. And they recommend 4.5 to 5mm knitting needles actually, which is quite crazy for the size. Explanation is it's a fluffy yarn, but I work them up together. I double strand them and I hold these two gorgeous ones together. They're lovely soft. And no issues from scratchiness due to animal fibers. I started recently to work on these on my morning lives, because that's also something I started recently. My morning lives is a live once a week in the morning before I start work, where I crochet like about 2 rows. So far it's been 2 rows every time on this project, before I then start work. So it's just like coming in, hanging out for half an hour to 45 minutes and then checking out again, spending some time with you lovely guys. I know there's not a lot of people being able to make that, because obviously it is for the Americans, who's quite a follower fan group here. Very late in the evening or very early in the morning, depending on how you would look at it, or maybe even just say in the middle of the night. And that's due time zone differences. I am 6 hours ahead of New York, and that would be like 9 hours ahead of California time. Which means that I usually stream around midnight West Coast. Oh, well, yeah, I go live for like half an hour-ish. But the Firefly sweater I started working on in, I do believe, February, or around February. Could be the end of February, but February sometime. And this is the results so far. It's the back panel. The front panel I already finished, which I have here. That's my front panel. And then of course I need to make 2 arms and sew it all together. We'll crochet it all together when we get there. But I have a front panel, a back panel is in the make. I do believe now it's so far that I do need to increase, if I don't remember wrong, can quickly calculate, of course. And then we would have, yeah, I need to increase the following 2 rows. And then 15 rows of double crochets again, and then we're done. So I have 2 rows of increases here at the very end. So we're getting there. We are getting there. I'm quite okay with the results so far. I do need to weave in the ends. I did recently change yarns, so I do need to weave in some ends. I might actually just have done that before the next live, because then it's done, right? Like then I don't need to keep track and get it done later. I think I might just get that done. And weaving in ends is not the most interesting thing to do, so I might just do that before the next live, so they are taken care of, and then I only need to increase twice. Usually 2 rows is about when I reach, because we also chat a bit during those lives. But yeah, so that was my Fireflies, but I'm just trying to keep track of everything here. Yeah, we should talk about my 2 shawls that I'm currently working on. And that is, I do believe, also currently the last 2 projects I actually have in the pipeline. The DarjeelingTea Shawl is the one that I started first of these 2. And we always talk about my projects in chronological order as I get them made. Unless I finish a project, then it kind of gets discussed in the beginning of the video and we take the progress during the rest. Or maybe I should start putting it finished item in the end. I don't know. I like it like this. It works for me. It's easy to keep track of. My DarjeelingTea Shawl, I use the LindeHobby Soft Cake. The LindeHobby Soft Cake is an absolutely gorgeous yarn of 50% acrylic, 50% cotton, 250 grams, so 8.8 ounces, to 1,000 meters, so 1,093 yards. It is changing from dark red to peachy pink. I'm using a 3.25 millimeter crochet hook, so that is a D hook, US size D. This would be what I have left of the cake. It's not a lot. We are down to the last, probably like 100 grams or less. They recommend 2 to 3 millimeter crochet hook. I do have 3.25. I do that intentionally because I am a slight tighter crochet hooker. My tension is a bit at the tighter end, which means that it's more similar to a 3 millimeter for this yarn when I use the 3.25. It just makes it a slightly bit more airy, and I don't have the feeling it's super airy. So it's actually, I think I found the perfect match here. They recommend this yarn to lay flat to dry, can be ironed at low, wash at maximum 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so 30 degrees Celsius, can be machine washed, do not bleach, do not tumble dry, do not dry clean even. Wow. Yeah, that's it. That's how the end is going to be looking. And I did 3 rows, maybe 4 since last time. I don't remember if I had done the puff stitches or if I'd only started on them. But I finished the puff stitch rows plus like another 3 rows on this, but we still have a few rows to go. We are not done. This is where we are. I really like this. I think it's pretty. It is pretty, and it's gonna be even better once this is blocked. It's gonna be gorgeous. Gorgeous once it's blocked. And oh my goodness, now I'm tangling myself in even. And you can imagine, now when I'm holding up a little bit of cake to it, can imagine how this is going to look once done. I'm really looking forward for this one to be finished for sure. It is a project that I have good progress with. I think I've had progress almost every week so far, except for 1 week, and that was because I wasn't home. Really looking forward for this to be done, to get it blocked, to see how the pattern is gonna pop out. It's been an enjoyment to crochet this DarjeelingTea Shawl, and I do feel that I am likely gonna crochet it within the near future. Haven't decided when, but it's definitely in my pipeline to do, so to say. Yeah, definitely. I've really enjoyed doing it, and I've plenty of cakes to do it with, so there will be more DarjeelingTea Shawls coming from my hook. But before then, there's probably 10,000 other projects I also need to make. And I also wanted to see if I could do all of the patterns that she has from RedTeapotAtelier. She has other patterns as well, absolutely gorgeous shawl patterns. I've only made one so far, including this. That would be the Jasmine Tea Shawl, which I made and finished about a month and a half ago. Looks awesome blocked. It is definitely on the channel. You can also find it on my Instagram page. And there's a link to my Instagram page on my YouTube profile, in case you're curious for that. Or it's also displayed in a previous Yarn Talk video. You can go back and find it, or yeah, I can link to it at the very end of this video showing the finished version. I'll do that. So that link will come here somewhere to the video where I show the finished version of that Jasmine Tea Shawl. It was absolutely gorgeous project. I worked a color per week. You know, that was what I allowed myself to, and it worked out brilliantly. The last project that I'm working on is a very classic Virus Shawl. The Virus Shawl is a project that I started on due to wanting something simple for behind the television, where I did not need to be on it. Because like with the DarjeelingTea Shawl, it changes every row. It's different, and it's not like so many row repeat. Well, technically it is if you get to know the whole pattern out your head, but I don't yet. Where the Virus Shawl that I started is a 4-row repeat, so it's awesome because it's also not just a 4-row repeat. It's a quite simple 4-row repeat, and this contains of only single crochets, chains, and double crochets. Easy. And it is, as I said, a quite simple 4-row repeat. I use an F hook, so that is 3.75 millimeters with the Stenli Candy Cake. The Stenli Candy Cake is, I do believe, it's a many-stranded cake, a cotton cake. It's 100% cotton. It is 280 grams cotton, which makes it 9 point somewhat ounces, like 9.23-ish ounces, maybe a bit more actually. 9.6, I think, ounces. To 900 meters. 900 meters is like 985 yards, roughly said. I am almost done with the magenta, or what I could call peach melba, because it is a two colorway change, so it goes all twirly like this with the color changes, and honestly almost looks a bit like peach melba. This is you can see I'm so close to going into the peach. There will be another change here between the peachy and the lighter peaches, which will be the very end of it. So I'm about halfway probably, which means I'll need a new project even sooner. But that is a headache for another time, because as I said, I do have a few projects that I'm working on, and I have a few projects I want to start. And I will definitely always need a good project for behind the TV, as when I'm watching TV, it's just nice to have something that's a bit more mindless. And that same goes for when I'm driving in the car. I don't have a lot of driving planned the coming time. The next time that's going to be a long time and trip in the car is in August. And that is also when we're going on vacation. And I definitely want to have a cake or two with me on vacation in the event that it's raining and we don't end up doing anything. Then, you know, I don't expect to be doing a lot, but I probably do more in the car and maybe in the evening or something like that if there's nothing else to do. But this is how far we are so far with the gorgeous, gorgeous Virus Shawl. And this dark magenta to peachy colored. And this is also, of course, one of these patterns that looks so much better once it's blocked. But I really enjoy how we are working up here. You can really see the color changes working up nicely. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I am currently also working on the next row here to add the next, and you know, I don't really keep track. I just crochet along as it fits with my TV time, and then, you know, I will see every time we meet how far I am along, and eventually it's done and I will have to find a different project, and that's okay. I'm used to it. It works pretty well like this. I do have a bit more TV time left. I do. I started this about a month ago, so maybe another month, who knows? Again, everything depends on TV time and other plans and so on. I think we're getting towards to the end of this yarn talk video. If you do enjoy talking about yarn, and if you're still hanging around because you enjoyed this one, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. That is that down button just down below. I quite much appreciate it, as that's supporting me in my work, and I do appreciate you for staying along and hanging around with me, because I really enjoyed doing this yarn talk and hanging around with you guys. So for me, what is there to say is on Monday I'll be back with a new Salt Mustache video, and that is number 15. So Salt Mustache 15 is gonna be up on Monday, and that one is containing the remaining of all of my hobby yarns. So if you do enjoy hobby yarns, check it out, because you can see the remaining stash of mine that's not related to all the cakes and cottons. So yeah, take a peek at that. It's gonna get up on Monday on this channel. And of course, I'll be back with you next week for a new yarn talk video on Friday, unless anything happens. And I do intend to go live as well, probably Wednesday. That should fit into my agenda depending on everything. So what's for me to say now, except for take care and happy crafting until I see you again.